Hi, my name is Jason Morgan. Welcome into my studio, and today I'm going to cover starting pastels and the supplies you need to get. When I wanted to start pastels a couple of years ago, it was very confusing, and the reason behind that is if you start with something like coloured pencils, you buy your coloured pencils, you buy your paper, you're ready. If you wanted to start with oil painting, you buy your oils, you buy your brushes, your canvas or your oil paper, and you can start again. The thing with pastels, we've got pencils, but we've also got soft pastels, we've got pastel sticks, we've got pan pastels, we've got loads of different types of paper, loads of different surfaces to the paper. Now the problem with that is that's where the confusion comes in. We don't know, or beginners don't know what they should buy. And it can be very expensive if you buy the wrong materials, the wrong supplies, things you don't need. So I'm a couple of years on now. I've produced quite a few nice-ish pastel drawings. I'll show you a few of those on screen so you can see the type of work I'm doing if you're new to my channel, because that's quite important regarding the supplies you want to buy. If you want to do very impressionistic type of work, it's going to be different supplies than if you want to do very detailed or hyper-realism. So let's take a look at what I recommend. Okay, so I'm going to keep this video very simple for a reason. When we see these type of videos, what normally happens, they go from being for beginners and basic, where you start showing pencils and other supplies, and then it goes on to other supplies and other supplies and papers, and we go through a full range of papers, and before you know it, once again the beginner is really confused. So at the beginning part of the video, at least, I'm just going to show you basic supplies and show you what you can do with them. Now the reason I say what you can do with them is if you wanted to do for instance really impressionistic work or soft work or very large scale, you could be using soft pastels. Okay, so Pastel Sticks, these are ones a set from Jackson's Art Supply. But I'm assuming, seeing as you've come to one of my videos, that you're interested in very detailed work or wildlife art. So let me get these supplies out the way to start with. And what I'll show you is the most basic setup. So if you want to begin to do wildlife art or pet portraits, something like that, but you're not sure if you even like pastels, perhaps you've come from a coloured pencil background and you're not even sure if you're going to like them, then you want to start off by getting a nice set of pastel pencils. So this is a set I've recently purchased. It was on a super offer, and I would have been foolish not to get them, so I bought them because I know eventually over the coming year lots of my colours will wear out. So I bought them, now they're cheaper. So this is a Faber-Castell Pitt Pastel Pencil set. It's a set of 60, and for general purpose, Pitt Pastel or my all-time favourites, Carbothello, are the pencils that I buy. They're not too hard and they're not too soft. If you buy pencils that are very soft, and some of the extremely expensive brands are very soft, then you'll find you will not be able to sharpen them in a crank handle sharpener, and you'll end up just sharpening them with a razor blade. Now lots of people, they don't want to spend time with razor blades. I'm one of those. I like to be able to put them in a sharpener, turn the handle a few times and get a nice sharp point. I've got plenty of videos on sharpening pastel pencils, so I'm not going to go into detail on all those things and confusing matters. So let's say you want to start with pastel pencils. You perhaps come from oil painting or coloured pencils or whatever. Perhaps you're completely new to pastel pencils. If you want to try it out, I've specifically done a video, a tiger video, and I'll have all the links to these things in the description, where I list the 12 or so pastel pencils that I use. I only use pencils on there, and I tell you the exact colours I'm using. If you're followed any of my videos at all, you will know I don't recommend following lots of artists, tutorial artists, are actually showing the exact pencil number and things like that as they use in them. When you're a complete beginner for perhaps one tutorial, just to gain confidence, perhaps a one-off, that's okay to do that. But other than that, you need to learn to see colours yourself. You need to be able to look at the blue of a sky and find the blue here. Perhaps look at the browns on an animal and find a similar brown in your colours. I don't recommend following these almost paint by numbers with pencil effects, because you're not really learning. Anyway, but one that I did do, because people were asking for it, I did a tiger. From people on my Patreon art channel that have tried it, they are so surprised how well it's turned out, and that encourages them then to continue and to buy more pastels. So if you're starting out and you want the absolute cheapest way to find out if you like pastels, if you like the fact they layer and all that, if you want a really cheap way, my tiger tutorial, as I said, tells you the pencils you need is only about 12 or so, and the paper as well. So I'll stay on that at the moment, because the paper I recommend, if I grab that, is pastelmat. Now it comes in these books. You can get them A4 size, A3 size, etc. The colours I recommend, because I'm not going deeply into this either, this is for beginners, would be sienna, brown, or dark grey. Really, that's the colours I would recommend to start. So they are mid-tone colours. So this pastelmat comes in books, small books, and also you can get them in little packs of sheets. So there's a sand colour, that's a nice colour. There's a dark grey, there's brown, and there's sienna. So those are colours I recommend, because they are middle tone, easy then to judge your highlights and darks. So it's a cheap way. You could buy this per sheet. So it's not going to get cheaper than that to actually try pastels out. Now, while I'm on the subject, pastel pencil prices for these carbothellos and these Pitts, they're roughly the same price as coloured pencils of the same make. A little bit cheaper, if anything. The carbothellos are a bit cheaper than the Faber-Castell Pitt pastel pencils. Okay, so that's the cheapest way to start. You could do that tiger for a very reasonable amount and find out if you like it. If you do like it, you're going to need to buy more pencils, because just like with coloured pencils, these are sets of 60, the maximum in Pitt and carbothello, and I've got both of those sets, and all the colours are different shades, and they're all different colours. So I use those on every drawing, every pastel pencil drawing I do. The cheapest way, once you know you like pastels, cheapest way to stock up on your pencils is to buy the largest sets you can. So these go from, I think, it maybe even sets of 12 or so. But once you know you like it, it's going to be more cost effective to buy the more pencils at one time as possible. So that's the easiest way and the cheapest way to start. So that's not confusing at all. Okay, so the basic set, just pencils. So you may ask, okay, so why would I want pastel sticks? Why would I want soft pastels? Why would I want pan pastels when pastel pencils can do it all? Okay, here's the issue. Let me grab a pencil. If we use just pastel pencils, the pastel is a small amount contained in the wood shaft of the pencil. So if I move that to the side and open these Polychromos pastel sticks, I'll show you what these are, just to give you an idea why we use other things. Grab a similar colour. So inside the pastel pencil obviously is that small amount of pastel running through it. When you look at a pastel stick, you're getting a lot more pastel in it, and they are actually cheaper usually than the pencil. So if you're using your pencil all the time to do your pastel drawings, perhaps you may have a blue background. You can imagine this blue pencil, just as if you was doing it with coloured pencil, is going to be worn away very, very quickly. If we use a stick, we'll be able to cover a lot more of an area much quicker and blend it in. When you're using then soft pastels, as you can see, we've got even more pastel in there. So this is just a basic reason why we use these as well. So you can see we've got lots more pastel in there, especially compare it to the pencil. These are going to last even longer. Okay? Pan pastel is similar to a soft pastel, and it's been put in these plastic pans. We can apply this in a different way than these soft pastels. We can use small tools that come with them to apply the pastel. I got lots of videos showing how I use those. So that's the reason why we use other pastels as well. Also, the softer the pastel, so we're looking at these, because these ones are still quite hard. They're kind of like a pencil almost in a stick form. But when we look at soft pastels, these blend even more and more easily than a pencil and than a stick. So let's say for instance we wanted to do a large sky on a background. To do it with a pencil, it's going to take you ages, and as you can imagine, it's going to be quite scratchy trying to cover a large area. It's quite hard, so it doesn't blend that easily. If we use the stick, it'll blend out nice, and it'll blend out even softer with these soft pastels, and also roughly the same amount with pan pastels. Pans are a different way of applying it that lots of people like. So this is why we get other pastels as well. Also, let's say for instance you're doing a drawing of a dog, and it's brown, let's guess. So we're using brown. We could use our brown pencil, and lots of pet portrait or some pet portrait artists, they work fairly small and they'll just use pencils, and they're obviously not concerned about wearing them out quite quickly. So you can, if you want, just use pencils, but I don't see the point of that when we can use the sticks. They're very similar to a pencil, and we can get the underlayers done with these. You will see I've got lots and lots of videos showing different ways, because with pastels, this is why we get some confusion as well, with pastels we can use them in different ways. We could do a drawing all with pencils if we didn't mind them wearing down quick. Then when we do the underlayer, and the best way to look at that is to see one of my drawings on YouTube or somewhere else and have a look how I do them. I like to put in a base layer, just as if I was doing an oil painting, my base layer, my map. I would use pastel sticks, or I would use pan pastels 90% of the time to do that. It saves my pencils. I could use soft pastels as well if I wanted, but I would need to be fairly careful with them, because if you put too much soft pastel down, it can fill the tooth of the paper. It's a bit more difficult then to get the details on top, and pencils are what I normally use for details. So let me recap, because I know it can get confusing, especially for beginners who really don't know about any of these supplies. If you want to start off, find out if you like pastels, just buy some pencils. If you want a tutorial that shows you which pencils to buy, to have a quick go and to produce something I think you'll really enjoy, I've got that Tiger tutorial. When you've gone past that complete beginner stage and you want to buy some more, buy more sets of the pencils to build your colour stock up so you can do more subjects. Once you've done that, then you've got the choice. You can either stick with the pencils and just continue with those working on a small scale, and when they weigh down, buy some more. Or if you're working on a larger scale or you want your pencils to last longer, buy a set of sticks, and these are really good and very economical, Faber-Castell Polychromos Pastel Sticks. In the past I've recommended Conte sticks. I do like them, but they're not as versatile as these. The Conte sticks are even harder, so they won't be any good for backgrounds and things. These are good for everything. Okay, so it's a good colour range there too. If you didn't want to buy these and you wanted it for underpainting and under drawings, like I say, look at my videos. Pan pastels are superb. These last a long time. You can imagine how much pastel is in there, compressed, and they last a long time. If you'd like to try a couple of those, I've got a wildlife set where I've spent a lot of time picking out the colours I use most often. So there's a kind of a beginner's set in pan pastels of wildlife colours that you could use if you'd like to use those. And you haven't got to buy anything other than pencils if you don't want to. If you want to keep it super simple, just get those. But part of the joy of pastels is collecting all these fantastic colours, and there's such an array of colours out there. That's why lots of pastel artists end up buying lots of supplies, because they love to collect all the colours. Take a look at these Jacksons, for instance. They're so vibrant in the colour range. So I hope that has not confused you at all. I hope that's simplified everything for you. Now, regarding paper, there's some countries that you can't get the pastelmat, or it's extremely expensive. There are other types of papers. I've done videos showing you loads and loads of different information on papers. As I said, I don't want to confuse this video. This is for starting up. I would recommend pastelmat. That's the paper I would definitely suggest using if you're a beginner. But as I said, there are other papers. Check out my other videos. Now, some people say, oh, pastelmat is extremely expensive. In the UK, a pack would perhaps cost between 10 or 12 pounds, something like that, going up to perhaps 25 pound for say 12 sheets. Now that does seem really expensive for a large sheet, but you've got to look at it not like I'm buying a pack of paper, because this is not like normal drawing paper at all. It's quite firm. It's got a special surface on it. It will allow layers. It's nothing like normal paper. So don't think 12 sheets, it cost me £12. It's £1 per sheet. It doesn't. Don't think of it like that. Think of this like canvas. Now, if you was buying a canvas board to oil paint on, you'd expect to pay for the same size £2, £3, £4 per board, and you wouldn't quibble over that. You've got to remember, the art you're putting on the paper is going to last years and years and years, forever, for your lifetime, if you get the right paper, the right canvas and things like that. So don't scrimp on this. I did it 20, 30 years ago, 25 years ago. I chose the wrong type of paper and the wrong supplies. It was a disaster. When I got the right supplies, it worked, and I progressed through my techniques. So if you look at this, we're looking at perhaps £1 or £2 per sheet. If you was looking at canvas, you're looking at £2, £3, £4 per sheet, and that's the way I look at it. It's an investment. So I hope this video has helped you out. As I said, I've got links for everything down below. If you want lots more video tutorials, lessons, I've got my Patreon art channel as well. See you all again real soon. If you're looking for even more great art sources, I've really got you covered. First off, I've got a Patreon channel that's been going well over a year or so, packed with around about 50 or more videos and new ones every month. Lots of the videos are many hours long, so you can see they're really in-depth. Subjects such as turtles, birds, elephants, big cats, you name it, is on there. So that's my Patreon channel. And also on that Patreon channel, before I go on to something else, I've got a secret Facebook group. So only the members are actually on there. It's the most supportive and friendly Facebook group that I've ever seen. I know I'm biased, but it really is. We've got 400 or 500 members on there, and they all help each other. So that's a great added bonus. That comes free with it. Also, you get line art every month as well, and we've just designed a brand new companion website for it. So if you've joined other patrons and channels and you found it very difficult to navigate around, we got this free website that comes with it. All the videos are now just a single click away. It couldn't be any easier than it is. I've also got my site, jasonmorgan.co.uk, lots of tutorial videos, DVD discs and downloads on there. And if you're struggling for reference photos for your art projects, I've got some of those too. I've got 900 plus on my website, wildlifeart-online.com, and they will be copyright free for you, so you can paint and draw from them and sell your work with no copyright worries whatsoever. So hope you like those extra resources, and I'll see you all again real soon.